I'm talking about Medjero McQueen's father's side from now. Medjero McQueen belongs to Part Holon Sire line. Part Holon can trace further back to Trubian, Herod, and Birali Turk. Birali Turk was the earliest of the three foundation stallions that founded the modern thoroughbred horse racing bloodstock. Almost all thoroughbreds can trace back to the Birali Turk, the Darley Arabian and the Godolphin Arabian, named after their respective owners, Captain Robert Birali, Thomas Darley, and Lord Godolphin. Birali Turk was born around 1679. Darley Arabian was born around 1700. Godolphin Arabian was born around 1724. Three stallions were imported to Great Britain in 1689, 1704, and 1729, respectively. They were used for the improvement of horses. And then, thoroughbred breed was created by selective breeding. In 1791, James Weatherby published Introduction to a General Stud Book, which was an attempt to collect pedigrees for the horses racing then and that had raced in the past. There were written 102 stallions, including 3 foundation stallions, and 354 broodmares. In the first volume of the General Stud Book published in 1793, and the revised edition of the first volume, stallions and broodmares were added to the stud book. Non-3 foundation sire lines were extinct by the mid-19th century. Tracing back the sire lines of modern thoroughbred race horses, 95% of them belong to Darley Arabian sire line. Godolphin Arabian sire line and Birali Turk sire line share the rest 5% in order of higher share. According to one theory, Birali Turk was originally a warhorse of Ottoman Turks, and Captain Robert Birali captured him from Ottoman Turkish troops at the Battle of Buda in 1686. Birali Turk served Mr. Birali as a warhorse after that. There is an episode as follows. When Mr. Birali was surrounded by the enemy in the Battle of the Boyne in 1690, he escaped easily thanks to nimble Birali Turk. Moreover, it is said that Birali Turk won the race in Down Royal, Northern Ireland, in the same year 1690. And then, Birali Turk came into use as a stallion from around 1691. Birali Turk didn't cover many well-bred mares. He left only 6 winning horses. Herod, the 4th generation after Birali Turk, was born in 1758. Herod was bred by Prince William, Duke of Cumberland, who bred Eclipse later. Eclipse was born in 1764, and his race results were 18 wins of 18 races. As mentioned in a previous video, only Eclipse sire line exists in Darley Arabian sire line. Herod's race results were 6 wins out of 10. 4 of them were of match race, and 1 of them was of sweepstakes. Until the late 18th century, heat race and match race were mainly held. Heat race means as follows: to determine a winner, horses run multiple times. The races are run until one horse wins 2 or 3 times. A word dead heat, we often speak, originally means no contest in the case of a tie, or almost the tie, at the finish of the race between 2 or more horses. Match race means a race between 2 competitors, going head to head. Also, there is a type of race, stakes race. Stakes race means as follows: owners, who enter their horse in a race, contribute stake for prize money. A winning horse or placed horses who take the predetermined place, get stakes which stake, so, are put together. In the case of sweepstakes race, a winner get all the stakes, in other words, sweepstakes. It seemed that a word sweepstakes was used in 1495 for the first time ever. Today in most cases, a certain racehorsing association contributes money for prize money, and stakes race in the strict sense has ceased to exist. In the case of Japanese Chuo-kiba, meaning central horse racing that differs from Chuho-kiba, regional horse racing, the racehorse owner needs to pay an entry fee to enter his or her racehorse in a race. JRA, Japan Horse Racing Association, contributes money for prize money. The entry fee is added to prize money. As added prize money, it is divided and distributed to a winner, the second place and the third place, at the ratio of 7 to 2 to 1. Great Britain and the US adapt a similar method to an entry fee and prize money. From the late 18th century on, almost all the races has been run in the type of stakes race. To return to the subject, he sired Florizel, whose race results were 16 wins of 23 races, in 1768. Due to that, Herod covered many well-bred mares. He sired Woodpecker in 1773. Woodpecker won 15 races, and he was an ancestor of Tourbillon and the Tetrarch. Moreover, he sired High Flyer in 1774. High Flyer finished his racing career undefeated in 14 race starts. Heord was the leading sire in Great Britain 8 times, 1777 to 1784, and High Flyer was that 13 times, 1785 to 1796 and 1798. As a result, Eclipse, an ancestor of the present main bloodlines, had never been the leading sire. Moreover, High Flyer sired Sir Peter Teazle in 1784. Sir Peter Teazle's race results were 13 wins of 15 races, and he won 1787 the 8th Derby Stakes. He was the leading sire 10 times, 1799 to 1802 and 1804 to 1809. In total, for 31 years out of 33 years, this 3 generations remained the leading sire. Around the middle of the 19th century, High Flyer sire line was so prosperous that the horses of High Flyer line had few choices to mate. A phenomenon similar to the tragedy of Saint Simon occurred. The tragedy of Saint Simon means as follows: this phenomenon occurred a century later than High Flyers won, and has often occurred in thoroughbred history. When the brood mares, who succeed one sire's bloodline, increase excessively, this sire have few choices of mating, for the purpose of incest avoidance. As a result, this sire line wane rapidly. Similarly, High Flyer sire line waned gradually and were extinct during the 20th century. Woodpecker sire line now exists. To convert influence on the current thoroughbred into the percentage of blood, Herod indicates the highest numerical value among all the past stallions and brood mares. Herod greatly contributed to the creation of the thoroughbred. Tourbillon, the 14th after Herod, was born in France in 1928. His race results were 6 wins of 12 races, and he won 1931 Prix Lupin and Prix du Jockey Club. In 1932, he came into use as a stallion under his owner-breeder Monsieur Marcel Boussac. In 1934, the second year after the start of use, he sired Goya. Goya's race results were 10 wins of 25 races, and he won 1937 St. James Palace Stakes, and 1939 and 40, 2 successive victories, Prix des Sablons, from 1949 Prix Gagny. Moreover, Tourbillon sired Jabel in 1937. Jabel's race results were 15 wins of 22 races, and he won 1939 Middle Park Stakes, 1940 2,000 Guineas Stakes, Poule d'Essai. Polaines, France 2,000 guineas, and Poulish, France 1,000 guineas, were combined to Poule d'Essai temporarily in 1940, 1942 Prix de Sablons, and Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. He was the French champion 2-year-old in 1939, and the French leading sire 4 times, 1947, 48, 49, and 56. Tourbillon also sired Caracalla in 1942. Caracalla's race results were 8 wins of 8 races, and he won 1945 Grand Prix de Paris, Prix Royal Oak, 1946 Ascot Gold Cup, and Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. He was the French champion 3-year-old colt in 1945, and champion older horse in England and France in 1946. Also, other offsprings ran well, and Troubillon was the French leading sire 3 times, 1940, 42, and 45. For a while, Lexington, Troubillon, and Jebel weren't recognized as a thoroughbred by Jersey Act. The rules allowed a horse to be registered, if all of the horse's ancestors were registered in the General Stud Book, or if it had been bred outside of Britain or Ireland and was registered in the stud book of its country of origin. Their horse's pedigree was regarded as including non-registered ancestor. Jersey Act was revoked in 1949, but until then many horses had to run in other countries than Great Britain. Only Herod sire line exists in Byerly Turk sire line. Mainly, the Honora line, belonging to Clarion line, exists among Helid sire line at the present time. Dunedin's first crop was just born in this year 2016. Dunedin was born in 2006 in France. His race results were 10 wins of 46 races, and he won 2011 Melbourne Cup, Hong Kong Base, and 2012 Caulfield Cup. After he retired, he entered stud in 2015 at Overbury Stud, Gloucestershire, England. As a sire line, the situation for Herod sire line is very severe anyhow. Let's end this topic. I will talk about the continuation later. See you.